California's gubernatorial race is heating up, and a lot of candidates are jumping in. We are reaching out to the top candidates, and we'll bring them on to get to know their policies and to get to know them better. Today, we sit down with Pastor Che Ahn. What are the issues that you're seeing right now in California?
Well, I just see a lot of brokenness. And I'm just being a realist. It's a mess here in California because we've had, if I could just say that, the wrong people in office. Now, I used to be a Democrat, okay? And I converted. I feel in many ways the Democratic Party left me. But when you see that Newsom was mayor for 8 years, lieutenant governor for 8 years, and he'll fulfill, we're talking about 30-some years of Democratic control. And my appeal is to those who are watching, give us a chance. Give us a chance to bring our values, our policy, to turn this state around. And I think it's going to happen because I think they're fed up. One example would be the LA fires. You know, the Pacific Palisades and Altadena, where I live in Pasadena, we had 14 people in our church lose their homes. These are legacy homes. They inherited from their parents, and everything is gone. And it's still a year later, we're not seeing the kind of rebuilding that we should have had really on day one. And those people, 80% are Democrats. I think they're also fed up. Someone said this, whether it was Einstein, is that if we keep on doing the same things that we've done and expect different results, that's insanity. And that's what we're having is madness here in California. We just have the same leaders, same policies, same ideology, and we think it's going to get better, but it's not. It's getting worse. And we need to put righteous leaders. That's why I'm appealing for, not necessarily for me, but people that are good, righteous people, people with integrity into office. The problem is that everyone says they're integrous, you know. But what I want to appeal even for me is I've had 46 years of being a pastor, and I'm known for I'm not perfect, but I'm known for my integrity. And I want to. That's why I'm campaigning on compassionate justice. I feel that I know what justice is. It's not LGBTQ issues. That's social justice. But biblical justice is like Lady Justice has a blindfold on because it doesn't matter who's rich or poor. You want to do the right thing for the person. You have to uphold the law. And that's what I'm going to do because I have a biblical value. And that justice is from the Bible that we have in our nation. Because I feel what I have to offer is really spiritual revival. What I have to offer is I'm a good mobilizer. I can organize. And what I'm going to organize is what I've done in the nations. We stopped counting with 25,000 churches in 2008. So just think about if I organized 25,000 people to just pray for California. That's the number one thing I'm asking them to do, to change the spiritual climate and to really change the culture of California. Because I could win, but unless the climate is changed, I'm going to be opposed by every Democrat, every activist group. They're going to sue me, and every decision I make is nothing's going to change. So what I'm really doing is I'm mobilizing what I call a million ekklesia. The word ekklesia means church in the Greek. So when Jesus said, I will build my church and the gates of hell will not prevail against, in Matthew 16:18, the word in the Greek translates ekklesia. Ek is out, kaleo, called out. It's called out once as God's people, you know. But what I'm asking them to do is to have prayer hubs of 2 or 3 people. Because Jesus said, when 2 or 3 gather in my name, there I'm in your midst. To pray for California on a weekly basis, to pray for spiritual revival and spiritual climate change. And I believe as we do that, and by the way, they're praying for the state senators, state assembly. We are going to establish these ecclesias in every district, 80 districts. And so just imagine when we're praying, and we're praying not curses, we're praying blessing upon them. So my state senator is Sasha Perez. I'm praying a blessing on her. I'm praying God give her wisdom. And I'm praying for my state assembly, John Harabedian, who's Armenian. I'm saying, God, please give him wisdom, give him grace to make the right policies, right choices in voting, to vote not crazy like AB 1955 that takes parental rights away, because that bill, by the way, is that if a teacher or a principal knows that the child wants to change his or her pronoun or wants to go through transition, they're not to notify the parents. That's ridiculous. Parents are the ultimate authority, and not the state. We've become somewhat of a Marxist socialist state saying, we know what's best for your kids. We will dictate what's going on, and we'll help them, not you. And it's almost like if you disagree and pull your child out, they may take child custody saying, that's child abuse. It's ridiculous in California because the Bible says in Proverbs 22:6 that parents are to train up a child in the way he or she should go. They're answerable to God to train up their children with good values, to bring them up as good people. But the state has taken that away. And so I want to restore that. I want to give, one of the first things I want to do is restore parental rights in the school system. But we have come to what I call Isaiah 5:20 moment, where it says in Isaiah 5, at verse 20, woe to those who call good evil, evil good, and darkness light like darkness. What do I mean? If a parent shows up at a school board, they're the evil one. They're called domestic terrorists. No, they're the parent. You're the one who's evil. But no, we're the good guys. We know what's best for your kids. And so we have an upside down kingdom right now. And what we have to do is bring common sense back and to restore order. And, that goes all the way with men, transgender men playing women's sports. That's been going on in California schools for 5 years. We're talking about, taking Title IX under Biden and redacting it, twisting it to include transgender men. And I don't know, the Olympics is going on while we're talking, and it reminded me of the Olympics, Summer Olympics, where a male boxed against women as a transgender and knocked her out after 2 punches. And she said in an interview, I've never been hit so hard in my life. She could have been killed. It's the common sense. He has XY chromosome. This is science. She has XX chromosomes. They're not the same. God made them male and female. But because of Biden, he had 84 different genders you could sign up under. And of course, Facebook has over 60. It's crazy what's happened in our society. So we need to get back to basic science, basic truth that we believe for thousands of years. There's only 2 genders. So when President Trump on his inauguration day said there's only 2 genders, most people say, well, what's the big deal? Of course, but it was revolutionary. It was reformational because where our country was with Biden, it's 4 years. And for him to say that, it brought common sense back. And people ask me, how could a pastor who's so conservative stand up against the progressive left in Sacramento? And my answer is that I can't. I don't have the ability, but God does. And if God helped me to win against Newsom back in 2021, I believe that I can win in 2026. And so that's one of the things that has encouraged me. It's like David, he had to defeat the lion and the bear, and then he went after Goliath. Well, I'm after Goliath right now, but he gave me victory over the bear and the lion. And I use one of them as having to raise money for our church building, having to raise our money for the Call Prayer movement, because I was the president of that. I've raised literally tens of millions of dollars for God's kingdom, and I believe that he will help me raise money to win this election.